hi guys, I can see you're already here. Well, welcome to the Elite Koi and Ponds Autumn Koi Photo Show. My name is Tiebo Jacobs. You might think, who's this weird bloke dressed up in pure confidence today? Well, I've been asked by Chris and Tracy to assist on the judging. And who am I to judge, you might think then. So let's introduce myself a little bit. I'm the founder of Koi Question, which is an international news website about koi. We exist for, I think, about 12 years now. Only since last year, since the last month, we've been also available fully in English. So our website is available for you to see as well, and we're getting more and more content translated for you to learn more about Nishiki koi. Chris and Tracy do like the vision of sharing knowledge, which has brought me in contact with them. And I'm also one of the 3 partners in Koi Academy in the Netherlands. We organize all the courses about koi on the highest level. We do certifications with exams which people can take after they've done all the courses on 2 levels, and people can use it, for example, to join a special group that attends hobbyists at their ponds, or use it as a certification if they want to work with a koi dealer to show they have the amount of knowledge needed to be at least start as a professional in this business. Furthermore, what do you want to know about me? I'm 37 years old now. I have 4 kids. I'm a sucker for love. I love my whiskey every once in a while, and some special booze Chris gave me one time. I was there, but for some reason I don't remember a lot of that anymore. It was with a monkey head or something. Let's talk about that later. I now want to talk with you about the fish. And I did my best, spent a few solid hours on looking at all of your fish. Up front, I want to say that thanks for entering all of your koi photos, because I think it's tremendous that you did, and that you are able to learn from each other. These are just moments, of course, in which you took the photo, but I would strongly suggest that you will do so more often, and that you will, for example, write down your expectancies of the development of the koi in the future along with it, and then after a while, then take another picture and then look what has become of it, because I think you can learn a whole lot from it. I'm guessing you're curious about which koi won. So I made a nice little setup here for us to discuss them a little bit, and let's get to it. So I brought the Facebook from Elite Koi up in the screen behind me. You can just look at it as well on the Facebook as well. You can see the exact same as I do now. I can't go through all of the fish with you in this video, because then the event will probably take a little bit too long, and I don't want you to fall asleep. Not that it's not interesting enough, for which I have taken the time to respond to all of the pictures with a remark, as Facebook does not think it's relevant, so I have to put all of them there. So you can see I've done some, Facebook really doesn't think I'm relevant. So put some remarks, a little judgment below every fish. If you have questions about it, please put a reply on that. I will get back to it. So just so you know that I want to address you all. There were a lot, so but I think I hope it helps you. Just to get some starters, I'll pick just a few that I like. I want to take a very honorable mentioning at first, actually, which is this one. I've been told it's been like, because take a moment, which variety do you think it is? Because I think it's probably, just technically speaking, it'll probably be a Matsukawa baka. It's a wagoi, so scaled fish. It's a non-metallic, but one can easily see that it has some metallic bloodline in it. So I think it derives from a metallic breeding, but just without the real metallic features. So, but we can see, like here, the luster on the head. We can, but also the sumi is like it's from a kikokuryu, but it's just not metallic, and the pattern is also, yeah, very unique. I mean, so this really for me is a very unique koi, and it's also very interesting and very quality koi fish, which makes it overall for me the most unique fish entered in this koi competition. I've asked the team of Koi Question which variety it was, and they also deliberated a little bit about it. So technically speaking, because it is a wagoi, so a scaled, non-metallic, black and white fish, and it's definitely not a Shirotsuri, so one might say it's a Matsukawa baka, and deriving from the meaning of this Matsukawa baka, yes, because Matsukawa baka means like something like monster that changes pattern over season due to the influences of different aspects like pH, like temperature, and even light. But I just think it's a real hybrid koi, a unique koi. And I enjoyed very much seeing this fish, and I would very much love to see this fish in the future again, and maybe we can do a blog about it, about its development then, and see what it became. So let's, in the meanwhile, go. What should we start with? Go Sanka, non-go Sanka? Should we start with non-go Sanka first? Okay. So I think, yeah, we'll do one more honorable mentioning with non-go Sanka, then go to the winners. So I've seen this Kiyotsuri. This Kiyotsuri for me is a very, very, very good example of what would you like to see in a Kiyotsuri, because normally a Kiyotsuri is hard to find because the yellow is very often smudged with the sumi in a very, in a manner in which it's very freckled with the sumi normally, and there is some here bits and bytes there, but overall it's a very tidy Kiyotsuri. The body conformation is good, it's nice, it has a nice flow from the gills back to the tail section. The sumi is black, it's not grayish. And yeah, it's a young fish. You can tell also by the sumi still in the pectoral fins. I think it will retract more to the core of the pectoral fin when the fish grows. And yeah, overall I think it's a nice fish and a very good example for a Kiyotsuri. Yeah, this is also a fish I would like to see when it grows a little bit bigger. Sumi gets a nice little more contraction about it, and yeah, well, let's hope we keep the yellow up as well. Luster is always a bit difficult on Kiyotsuris, and as well, as you can see, the head is going a little bit pointy. It would be more nice to see it at least up to the eye, to see it would be more straight. So the head would be more in proportion for when the fish would grow more bigger. But yeah, overall just a very, very interesting fish, and yeah, thank you very much for entering this one. I really enjoyed it. Okay, let's get to the first winner. I got a third place in the non-go Sanke. which is this one, a Deutsche Kohaku. Yes, Deutsche is not a Gosanke. The Gosanke is Kohaku Sanke Showa. Sometimes even Tansho, and sometimes in even some shows they even take Shirotsuri into consideration. Well, for me personally, it's always just Kohaku Sanke Showa, because Gosanke literally means the three big houses, which derives from the shogun area of Tokugawa Ieyasu, which there were three big houses that ruled Japan, and under this reign Japan was brought together in this shogun period, which has made the Gosanke actually a more overall term to bring like great combinations of three good things together, like three great musicians or etc. So the Gosanke is always just three. Getting back to the Deutsche Kohaku, so you can probably see why this koi is stunning. It's like it's lacquered, the beni. It's so red, it's like it's the lacquer from a car. It almost looks plastic, this fish. Of course it's scaleless, so it's more easy to get these hard lines because it doesn't have scales, and along with the luster and shine that is on it. I mean, look how thick it is on it, and the pattern is really playful, and it has like a very good pattern. The first pattern is very good. It's right in between the eyes until the nose, leaving plenty of space for the nose to be free. Has some playful little patterns, but then a very good last pattern, which leads a good odoma. And with odoma we mean the last kiwa of the last beni pattern, leaving a nice ojime, a white skin before the actual tail section, which makes the tail look more powerful. And overall it gives a very strong, a very lustrous appeal to the fish. And we can see that it is the body conformation is very good. I can't estimate the real size of the fish at this picture, but yeah, the white is very white, and overall it made a very good impression, and yeah, to be for sure to take a prize in this competition. So thank you very much and congratulations on this award. I'm also this, but I can say that with every fish that I'm curious how this koi will develop in the future, but okay, you have to take that for granted. Then getting to number 2 is a different variety, is this one. It is a Kinrin Karashigoi as far as I can see. And what I like so much about this fish is that it's a young fish. You can see the length in this one. It's approximately 40 cm, 40 for maybe a little bit more. So it's a young fish with a strong bone structure, as you can see. So the body conformation is something different than the bone structure. The bone structure is how the skeleton is built, and the body conformation is how the body is on the bone structure actually. So because this fish has to build up some more muscle and weight, but you can already see that it's the structure is very good for the fish to have a strong build when it's elongated as now, so it can actually build on some weight. What we see, this is a Ginrin. It has a very solid color. It's important with one-colored fish that the color is even everywhere from beginning to the end. The Kinrin also has to be on it, because Kinrin fish are also judged for their Ginrin, of course. They say Kin Jinrin. Kinrin means gold, Ginrin means silver. So on a fish that is red or yellow or karashi, it is called Kinrin. On fish that are white, it's called Jinrin. If a fish has both, then it's a Kin Jinrin. Yeah, so that's the difference between that. We can see the nice big pectoral fins on this one. The luster on the head telling us it's a nice skin quality. We can see that because they're iridophores. They're pigmentation cells for the luster that's inside the skin, and because the skin on the head is still the thinnest with young koi, you can see the luster always on the head at first. So you should always be looking for that as a feature with young koi, because it tells you something about the skin quality, which is the hardest thing to appreciate in koi appreciation, the skin quality. And from a picture, of course, it's hard to judge. So yeah, for me, a very good solid second place. I think this fish has some potential, and I think it looks a little bit slim. I still think maybe it's a female, but I'm not sure. I really hope this fish will grow and put on some weight. But I really like the head and the way it is on the body, and the way it is like the body is yeah, very tough. It still has a firm tail, so yeah, very nice to see. Color is a little bit different than what we're used to. Don't know whether that's in the picture or that's really this warm mustard yellow color. I think that's also one thing that brings some extra attention to this fish. Very nice. Yeah, before we get to the number one, I'll show you some other non-Gosanke fish. This one, for example, this is also a non-Gosanke, because also this is Ginrin. It's Ginrin Kohaku, of course, but it's a butterfly koi. I made a joke in the comment. I thought we were judging koi because, yeah, there's as much discussion about whether longfin koi are real koi as there is discussion about whether pizza with pineapple is actually pizza. So yeah, I'll let that make up for yourself. But yeah, getting past that, it's nice to see all these different kind of fish, because you really got a competition with a lot of unique fish. I think let's look at this one. I mean, it's just great to look at it. It's you can say it's a Kuman Ryu. You can say it's a Deutsche Chirutsuri. You can say it's a Deutsche Beko, of course. You can see the sumi is on top, but there's also sumi beneath in different levels of the skin. Very interesting to look at. Yeah, so nice to see those entries. Then we have more. Yeah, of course we have more. Look at this very nice example for a kin showa. Kin showa is a metallic showa. A very good fish, was a competitor for a prize, but the body is an important factor when judging fish, and I did think that the body is a little bit declining in the belly here. That is a kind of a problem that metallic fish in general have, or Deutsu as well. They easily get a little bit of a belly. Genetics aren't as good as with for example Kavari Mono and Gosanke. So yeah, that's the thing you have to be looking for when selecting these kind of fish. But overall, it's of course a very interesting pattern. The skin quality is good, it's metallic, and yeah, the contrast is very nice. So yeah, as you can see, I enjoyed it very much. Also non-Gosanke, still a Kujaku, looks like it has a very big head. I liked it very much. Little pattern. The quality isn't even that good, but it's just impressive for some reason. So liked that very much. Here another one that I liked. You can see the contrast. It's very black. It's but leaving the fin tips white and the tip of the nose white, along with the color and the contrast, just makes it a very nice appearance. I can imagine in a pond. Yeah, here another also non-go sanka, was a very nice fish, was a competitor, but because of the quality of the picture I couldn't let it have win or a prize, because yeah, it's just too difficult to judge the quality when it's this low grade of a picture. I can't see whether this is and what it actually is and how it looks like. So it didn't seem fair to me to pick a koi with a low grade picture, but an apparently nice tancho spot, for example, over some koi that did have a good picture. After all, it is an autumn koi photo contest, so the quality of the photo just matters. So look, just try to improve your skills on that. Seeing, for example, seeing this one, it's like I think it's been a Midori koi. They tend to change color when they get a little bit older. Still very nice to see, but with this unique color, like yellow, green yellowish, it is so much stronger if you put it in a bowl, and it will really pop out the colors and make the fish stand out. So please use a bowl when you take koi pictures, and take the koi pictures from up front when you look at the koi, and not from behind, as is done with this one. Because yeah, if you do it, take pictures unattended from girls from behind, they will smack you in the face. But yeah, so appreciate koi head on will be much better. I think we get to the winner, and maybe that's not a big surprise, but it is just a very great fish to look at, and that's the goshki. It's been, I think, because there was a blog about already, and I think it's from Aoki, bred by Aoki. Yeah, we also say Kuro goshki because it's black. It's a black goshki, but black goshkis are not born black. I have put the development blog next to it, so you can see how it actually changed. Yeah, this was the picture at first when the koi was purchased. And then from that, the fish developed into this. It's like already completely different. I mean, where's the ginrin here? I mean, it's there. You can see a little bit sparkles, but over here it's just already a different fish, and all the way gray. And then it turned completely black, no ginrin or something visible. But very nice. You can see how stable the Benny pattern is, because it looks here, if you had to judge it, like it's going to be swallowed by the sumi, these little patterns, but it just isn't. It just stays tremendously stable, this fish. So it really stands out from all other fish in the competition. Yeah, it also has a very unique pattern. It doesn't have a big pattern, but the quality speaks for itself. It's a very interesting fish, and I like the most beautiful fish to me are the fish that you learn the most from. And the fish you learn the most from aren't even always the best koi. Because if you buy the best koi that has a steady development, you won't learn a great deal about them. But with fish that have many ifs and so's, and oh, if this will go this way, then it will become a nice fish, or what will this become? So the tatishita, those are the best fish to learn from. And if you want to learn more about Nishiki koi, you should buy them, and then write about it, write down what you suspect it, how to develop it, and then confront yourself with it after half a year, and yeah, learn from it, and do that together with other hobbyists. That's a great way to do it, and that's the way in which actually watching a koi will become seeing the koi. So yeah, congratulations on this victory for the winner. Tremendous fish. It will probably be very different again next year, But yeah, koi is livestock, and it changes, and you have to appreciate the moment it shares his or her true beauty with you. And due to this contest and the blog and the newsletter, Chris and Tracy wrote about it. I think we all have learned a little bit of this, and had some. It brought some inspiration to us, and that's what the hobby is about as well. Bring us some inspiration, and yeah, getting information through inspiration is the way to go and learn about more in the hobby. So that's why this koi is for certain the #1 non-Gosanke in the autumn koi photo contest of Elite Koi and Ponds. On to the Gosanke. Yeah, we will be looking at non-Gosanke, in which I had a very hard time determining the third place. So I'm gonna get to that. The one, and I'm starting with the one that didn't win after all, is this one. It is a kohaku. It's probably already a little bit of a bigger kohaku. It has a very good structure of the head, very wide, very strong, great meheba still. Meheba is the distance between the eyes, and it should be the same distance between the eyes. The distance between the eyes should be the same distance as from the middle line of the eyes up to the nose. Why? Because if this is the case with young koi, then the head of the fish will grow accordingly. If the meheba, so the distance between the eyes, is, for example, not the same length but only to here, then when the fish grows big, the nose gets a little bit stump, and we see that with a lot of shagoi and stuff, and it just doesn't make the appearance of the koi better, because when the koi grows, the head gets wider, but the nose doesn't get very longer anymore. So that's why this effects can occur, and it's a little feature that you have to be looking for when selecting young fish. It reminded me a little bit of a different fish that won some shows in the past, also in Japan, the Rinyukai. The fish is from Nogami, called Pandora. Yeah, I'll have to look that fish up. Oh wait, I have it here, I think. Yeah, this is Pandora. You can see a little bit that it looks a little bit the same. Of course, this is a grand champion winner of Japan. I'm just talking about that it reminded me of it. Let me switch back, and then you can see it. It reminded me a little bit of it, but not entirely. The fish in this picture, I'm missing the little bit of the quality in the skin. The body is not very wide, but it is very strong. It has a firm tail. The pattern is nice, but also a little bit messy. And those were a little bit of the things that made me decide that that's not why it didn't win. It just lost the third place to this fish, which had overall better show standard features at this point. So it's a very nice fish. Also, it's very nicely built. The bone structure isn't not as good as the kohaku that we just saw, but the body conformation is better because it is more wide here, and then more like this torpedo shape. The white is very good. The red is red. The black is black. It has a nice menwara, which is a good for a show. It has a nice motoguru. The only thing it doesn't have is doesn't have beni, a nice beni section on the tail and on the body. Only has it here, but it's not a fault. These are not like secondary, we call it nabihi or tobihi. because it is a pattern. I think Japanese EMPC, International Music Koi Promotion Center, has said like it's a pattern if it has at least 3 scales colored, and that's the case here. And here it's like, okay, this is not very nice, but it's not that it's a fault immediately. The other kohaku has some irregularities as well, so I find that might be even, but the body structure of this fish is better, and skin quality looks better as far as can be judged from the picture. So very nice Kindai Showa. It is called Kindai when there is more white than there is black and red. So a very nice example and a very good picture as well. So my compliments on that. Then off to number 2. And number 2 is actually the first one. It's this kohaku. It isn't the best picture. It also isn't a bad picture. It shows us a very nice Yondan kohaku. You could arguably say it's a Godan kohaku because it also has a pattern on the tail section, but I would say it's a Yondan kohaku because it is a really small pattern. Because yeah, I think you'd rather say it's a very good Yondan kohaku than a not so good Godan kohaku. You can look at that as well. But those are just, yeah, it's just my opinion. Is just an opinion as well. But the Benny is very stable. We can see this is a nice thing to show you guys. The fish has Konzai Kiwa, which means it has both Kamizori Kiwa, which means it is the end of the pattern of the red patterns at the end are cutting through the scalation. But it also has Maruzoma Kiwa, which means the edge of the red patterns is following the scalation, like you see here and here. And when a fish has both, we call it Konzai Kiwa. I most like to see big patterns with Maruzoma Kiwa. It look most natural to me. It's not a fault, it's just some appreciation names they use to determine that. Sashi and Kiwa, why is that very important? Sashi is the front of the pattern, Sashi is the back of the pattern. Why is it actually has names? It's very easy to explain. Maybe it's easy to explain, hard to understand maybe. The scales grow back, they're on top of each other, so they grow back. And if a fish has like where the red pattern begins, there first is a white scale, and here starts the red scale. So there's a white scale on top of the red, and then so on until it appears on the surface, like three layers or something. And that's what you see here, and that's what you see there. It's just you see through the white scale on top, you see the red scale beneath. So that's actually the sashi. But as the koi grows and the skin gets more thick, it tends to disappear a little bit. Maybe not completely, but it should disappear at least to some degree. You should be looking for koi, young koi, with sashi of at least 2 scales, because that implies that it has good growth potential, and also because if there's no sashi, it means the skin pigmentation isn't deep in the koi, or the skin pigmentation is not strong in the koi, which could lead to loss of pigmentation when the koi grows, or the pattern will start to deteriorate at the scales and will lose its beauty and shape. And then the back is the same. Kiwa is where the pattern ends. So the white skin starts, and then you see the opposite. You see the red scale on top of the white scale. And of course, when the benny quality is good, the red, then you won't see through it, and you see a nice edge around it. when the pattern stops. We don't want to see it blurry and see it going into the white. We want to see it straight. So Kamisore Kiwa along the scales, or Maruzono Kiwa along the scales, or Kamisora Kiwa through the scales. Both of them together, it's called Konzai Kiwa. White skin, very good. This head pattern is called Hanatsuki. There are very many head patterns. And Hanatsuki is actually an acceptable form of Maruten. In this case, you also have Menkaburi, which is a completely red head. But with Hanatsuki, it starts at the beginning of the head, running between the eyes until the nose tip. And it's a desirable form, but more desirable than Menkaburi, less desirable than, for example, the real Tansho or Maruten spot. Overall, a very nice kohaku. Yondan kohakus are very rare because if a koi has more patterns, you also have the risk of more sashi and kiwa that can go wrong. So that's why a koi with more steps in its pattern is considered in judging to have a higher level, like gymnasts that do more difficult routine. They might get a lower grade, but they get a more higher difficulty number, which is also being considered in judging. That's why, for example, judges at shows sometimes, and I know this from Japanese judges, that they sometimes, especially from Shinkokai, which are breeders, judges, they judge a fish with 3 colors higher than kohaku with 2 colors, although kohaku is, of course, highly regarded. But yeah, as a breeder, you know how hard it is to not only get the Benny good at the koi show, but also get the sumi like lacquered and black on the koi show. It's just an extra difficulty layer, which could be more appreciated, as well as when a fish has more steps in its pattern. It's more room for error, and when the errors aren't there or are not big, then there is more appreciation coming its way. So we're now done with number 2. Congratulations on that one, and we are up for the big finale, the winner. And this winner is, ruffle the drums, it's this Sanke. After looking at all the fish, I think this Sanke is the best Go Sanke, and I'll explain with you why. Because it has a nice body, the body structure is good, the body conformation, it could be a bit more wider, but the head is very good. The head has some nice, as you can see here, the gill plate is very straight until the eye, which makes sure that the body line is very straight as well. We know for Sanke that they have more difficulties with building bodies, body structure, body composition than Showa, for example. Why is that? Because Showas have a bigger taiko, we say. The taiko is actually the line from the side of the koi, so from the belly to the top of the back, where the backbone starts. And if you have a bigger, if that is higher, then there's a longer way down, so the fish, it's more easy for the fish to get wide. We see that with Nisai Showa a lot, and which tends to disappear when the fish gets Sanzai again, and then gets back when the fish is Gosai or something. And that's why Showas have a stronger body structure than Sanke or Kohaku. They have a bigger taiko, they say. But this Sanke, it has a nice body line, The pigmentation is very stable, it's very good. It has a nice kohaku pattern underneath, if you think away the sumi, but the way the sumi is placed, which is very difficult with sanke. I interviewed a lot of breeders, and they all say sanke bimbo, which means sanke makes you poor, because it's very difficult to make pleasing sankes. Showa are more exciting, and people will always look at Showa and think about, oh, this can develop in this way, but with sanke that's way more difficult. Well, one of the more important things in sanke is kata sumi, which means shoulder sumi, and this fish definitely has sumi in its shoulder. Then you also can say there's tsubo sumi, which is critical sumi. Some people always say this, that means the sumi is in the white. I debate that. I think tsubo sumi means like critical sumi, which is in most cases the kata sumi, because when a sanke doesn't have kata sumi in the shoulder, the balance is more easily off. And of course, because sumi in white gives the fish more contrast and to the pattern, it's more often that critical sumi is also in the white, but it doesn't mean critical sumi can't be kasane sumi, which means the sumi is in the red pattern. But it has a nice placed, well placed sumi. You can see it's very tight, it's contracted, the sumi, and yeah, you can see it's very nice. The sashi is very nice here. We see some tejima. Tejima is the black in the pectoral fins. Should only be a little line with sanke. With motoguru, which is with showa, we see this this flowerish effect in the core, coming from the core of the pectoral fin. With the best tejima, however, it is not in the core, it is just loose in the fins, which is also an indication of high quality sumi on a fish. Overall, yeah, I think it's a great fish to see. I would very much like to see some videos of a lot of these koi, but I think this sanke has the overall best papers in the Go Sanke group to be the winner, and I think the owner can be proud that he raised this fish, got the pigmentations the way they did, and I hope you have a lot of more years to go with this fish and a lot more moments and pleasure and growth from the fish, and I hope it will get somebody to it, so we can look at it once more again. Yeah, so these are my two top threes. I want to thank all the competitors, all the people that send in their fish. I think you got a great thing going on. Elite Koi is very actively involved with its community and sharing knowledge, which is something I very much support, which is why they support me, and yeah, that's why I'm more than happy to lend my time and minor expertise to your cause. As I said, I judged every fish, just put my thoughts in a reply on the picture. If you want to talk a little about it a little more, or have a question after the things I wrote, then just hit a reply and I'll get back to you. Furthermore, I want to wish you all the best of luck. Please make Chris and Tracy go crazy today with all your questions, and please don't leave the shop without your cars fully packed with equipment, stuff, and koi, of course. So they can keep on doing this for many times and years to come. Thank you very much again. My name was Tiebo Jacobs, and I hope to see you in real life at Elite Koi in the future. Please visit koiquestion.com. In the meanwhile, and hit me up with a message if you want to have a question or anything else. Domo arigato, and have a nice day.